right. Welcome to OSHA Compliance Help. I am your host, Sheldon Primus. This is me helping you out with the OSHA compliance. I am going to answer your questions live as best as I can. So if you have any questions, go ahead and hit me up in the chat, and then we'll go ahead and get those questions answered. Before I could do that, I need to put into the chat box for you Facebook listeners. This is something that you will have to do. This link over here. So it says, due to Facebook restrictions, we can't see the names and profiles of pictures of the viewers. So now I need to send you a link so that you could grant permissions for your name to be viewed. So that's what you're going to see right now. You're going to see in the chat the link that is going to allow you to grant, or I should say, accept any. I guess just in order for you to chat, you're gonna have to say it's cool for me to chat, and that's going to be the provisions that they make. So doing this live stream because OSHA has been busy. I mean, absolutely crazy. Like, you would not believe busy. And I knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming. But now it is official with two big things that was announced very back to back, close to each other. So OSHA now has, not only do they have someone who's ahead of OSHA, which is like first time in like ever since Dr. Michaels. So first time ever since Dr. Michaels, OSHA finally has someone who is now in charge. So that is amazing. I didn't do it, but I am happy that OSHA finally got someone, because it's just been absolutely ridiculous that no one has been ahead of OSHA for multiple years. And this is the first time ever in the history of the agency that they did not have a lead. So right now, the Help Committee has gone through the steps, and they have approved Doug Parker, who I mentioned before would probably be the person we're looking for. So I'm going to share my screen real quick, and let's go ahead and look at this news. So I'm going to do the OSHA.gov website. I got a couple screens going. I got one that's like right down here, so you'll notice my head going down as I look at that one, and then I got another one to my right, so you'll see me kind of look over to the side to see both screens there. So I'm going to use the screen that's down here, so you might see a little bit of this part. Don't worry about it. But let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you guys just a couple of things, especially with what's happening with OSHA. So let's start with the home page, the big one. So I mentioned Doug Parker. We'll get to him later, but let's go start with the big one. This is on OSHA's homepage right now. OSHA issues temporary standard on COVID-19 vaccine and testing. So right here, you're seeing what that is. That is a big, major thing that's happening. So if you are under OSHA's regulation and you hit this criteria, then that's what you're going to do. So I'm going to click on this here, and I'm not going to share the link yet. I'm going to share the link on where I usually start. So you guys could kind of consider this an unboxing, if you would, because truly I have not seen this before, and I am trying my best to make sure that I'm open-minded and that I'm going to be factual with this. So right now I can't give you much facts except to tell you that it's here. So let's start with the home page, and generally you're going to want to look at the Federal Register, or even better, the About page. So I'm going to give you this one, which is a summary of the standard, and we'll start there, because now that will give us more of the regulatory text. So I'm going to copy this one, and I'll put that into the chat. So hopefully you're going to be able to get this wherever you're listening to me at. Oh, you know what? I forgot to connect one service. I got to work on that one. So this is going to get you to the emergency temporarily standard where I am right now. I'm going to lose my picture. So let's do a minimum deep dive here because, again, I'm only seeing this for the first time with you. So I'm going to go right back and let's see if we can find the preamble listed here. So if you're not familiar with what a preamble is, uh, a preamble is basically when you have the stakeholders meetings and everything, and you OSHA talks with this person and that person, and they get everything together, and they go through all the different points where OSHA allows people to comment, and then whatever those determinations are. All that information gets housed in one place, and once you get that place, that is going to be the preambles where it's held. So therefore, this standard is telling me that there's something in the standards preamble that will now mention what we're looking for. So apparently, this link is not working. So let's try it again. All right, let's try it one more time. See if I got this. I'm gonna stop sharing, see if I can find it real quick before we go on any further. So for those of you that are just coming back on, I've been going over the emergency temporary standard, and I noticed there's a wording in there that they said they referenced a preamble. So if I'm looking at the preamble to this, meaning some of the comments, they gave justification as to the grave nature of people that are unvaccinated getting vaccinated in order for them to reduce or eliminate the risk of contracting COVID-19. So that is telling me that I really need to figure out what is that preamble. And if I can't find it, I'm going to do it on my own without you guys. But I will have to look it up. I'm truly looking through the standard right now, and I don't see where this is in the preamble. But that's very curious. I really think if you're going to try to use this a temporary standard, the wording in the standard, and you have to understand that preamble first, though. All right, let's go back to the summary. I don't want to. My deep dive didn't work because I couldn't find anything that listed the preamble. I only saw the reference. So we've got to. Yeah, let's go back and let's find this thing. So I'm going to continue sharing my screen right back with you guys one more time. So I literally was just talking about this with a buddy of mine. He was like, "Oh, is this going to come out soon?" And I said, "Oh yeah, OSHA is fast tracking this thing. It'll be out before the end of the year." And here we go. And ETS is necessary. So here OSHA is telling us why it's necessary. So they're also going to add that. So let's show you guys this in the screen. That's really what it boils down to is OSHA is now establishing jurisdiction for making this mandate. And once they say occupational exposure, that's them. So they're establishing jurisdiction. So far, there might be some other things that preclude you, but so far, according to the standard, you're in there. Again, if you have any questions and you're allowed to do a chat feature on whatever you're listening to me on, go ahead and hit me up with the questions. If you have questions currently with just OSHA compliance, it's good as well. So go ahead and hit me up with that one. So ETS is feasible. So that's another big one because OSHA can't do anything that is going to end up being, I forget the phrasing, but it's going to be, there's a certain term that was used that OSHA doesn't really like, but they can't be burdensome. That's it. They can't be burdensome to the employer. So now they're proving in this paragraph here that this standard isn't burdensome. That's what they're looking for. So the ETS is feasible. OSHA has evaluated the feasibility of this ETS and has determined that the requirements of the ETS are both economically and technologically feasible. So that's the wording here. Let me hide. States, or excuse me, all those states without a state plan, they're all going to have to follow this. Basically, the big centerpiece of the U.S. That's a whole bunch of states, and they're like 25 plus states that do not have a state plan, and therefore, like me, I worked for a special district of the state of Florida, and therefore, I didn't have an OSHA to go to. This wording right here in this is telling us that there will not be so for those of you that have, and if you have not listened to my podcast over the last couple of weeks, I've had some people on, and one was some students of mine who we did a class together, and I had them after class, and I asked them just general questions, and one of the questions was, what's one of the most important things for you right now in safety? And it turned out that both of them had mentioned that it's COVID-19, and you got state rules and local rules that differ, and then you have federal government that's not really involved, and they just didn't know how to comply with any kind of rules. So in saying that, this now is telling you that federal OSHA is taking charge over any state plans. So me in Florida, we've been having an issue with our Republican governor, Ron DeSantis, and some of the Democratic local governments that would put in mandates for mask wearing and vaccines. And then the governor in my situation in the state had said that they cannot, meaning local entities or businesses cannot require people to wear masks or vaccine mandates. So in those cases, now this is going to be completely opposed to that. And now we're probably going to have some litigation over this. So it's going to be a big one. ETS also serves as a proposed rule. So that means, although the ETS takes effect immediately, so meaning there's no time on this, it also serves as a proposal under Section 6B of the OSHA Act for a final standard. So they are still going through the process of making it finalized. It's still proposed, but they're saying this proposed rule is in effect now. Okay, I don't know how that's doing it, but let's see. Accordingly, OSHA seeks comments on all aspects of the ETS and how it would be adopted as final standard. OSHA encourages commenters to explain why they prefer or disfavor particular policy choices, and to hold on, I gotta hide. To get to everyone complying before they start doing the swabs weekly and everything. So that is the justification, and I believe the application is what's going to be next. So they're telling us how to determine employee vaccination status, employer support for the vaccination, COVID test for employees who are not fully vaccinated. Here's the wording for that one. And the ETS does not require employers to pay for any costs associated with testing. That's going to be a big deal. So let's Wow. I'm telling you, I need to go over that a little bit more. And I'm not even going to go with the Doug Parker one. I was about to go into that even more, but I can't. Right now, my brain is hurting with this ETS, and I really need to focus on it a little bit more. I want to share it with you. Yeah, that's me reading this for the first time with you guys. So we were considering this a standard unboxing, if you will, because naturally I'm starting to get the picture a little. So, all right. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate everybody out there, and I hope that you're going to like and subscribe with the podcast, especially. So you want to go to the safetyconsultantpodcast.com. You can also find me on safetyconsultant.tv. And for the Safety Consultant TV, go ahead and sign up with code SC101. And that's going to give you 30 days for free. So you can kick the tires, see if you like it, download all the templates that I have for you there, and be able to use that for your clients today or for your safety system. So go to safetyconsultant.tv, enter code SC101. All right, go get them.
Views and opinions expressed on this podcast or broadcast are those of the host and its guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis